Whether you're playing Skirmish or Campaign, there's often a ton of abilities in play, many of which have very specific timing windows that are super easy to miss, which can leave you kicking yourself for forgetting to use an ability at a critical moment that you paid points, XP, or credits to bring with you into a mission. Here are some tips and hacks I've learned from playing other games that can help prevent you from forgetting to use those important abilities when you need to use them. If the ability is on a card that's on the table and triggers off of a specific event, you can physically move that card closer to whatever object best represents that event happening. For example, Heroic Effort and Jabba's Nefarious Gains ability both trigger off of a figure dying, and are two of the most often forgotten abilities in the game. Since you should always be grabbing your score pad when any figure dies to record the added VPs to either player's score, keep cards like Heroic Effort and Jabba physically close to your score pad so that you can see them each time you go to record a change in VPs, and will hopefully be visually reminded to use their abilities. Strategically placed tokens are another great way to physically remind yourself to use an ability before you do something else. Having something there to physically disrupt what you would otherwise be doing as an unconscious movement helps to force you to stop and think about what you might be forgetting. Strain tokens are actually great for this since they usually don't have any purpose in Skirmish. Strain is suffered as damage or discard in Skirmish. If you have an end of round ability you want to remember, you can put a token on top of your command deck so that when you go to draw your cards at the end of the round, you will be reminded to remember to check for your end of round abilities at that time. If you have a start of round ability you want to remember, you can put a token on top of the initiative token, since that is what you move at the start of the round before doing anything else. For Campaign, you might put it next to the round counter if you're the Imperial player, or next to your activation token if you're a Rebel player. If you use activation tokens for your deployment cards in Skirmish, placing another token on top of the activation token can help to remind you to use a figure's start of activation ability before you do anything else. Similarly, if you have figures with once per round abilities, you can put tokens on their deployment cards at the start of each round, so you have a physical reminder to remember which of your figures has a once per round ability that hasn't been used yet, so you don't forget to use it. Double-sided gray mission tokens are great for this if you have enough of them, as they can be easily flipped back over at the start of each round to reset them. If you have attacking or defending abilities, you can keep a token next to your dice or maybe next to your dice tray, so you don't forget to use them. Ideally, you'd have matching tokens that go with your figure abilities. So for example, if one of your figures gets +1 block while defending, maybe keep a block token next to your dice or dice tray so you remember that you have a figure in your list with that ability. Finally, for Skirmish players, one of the things I forget most is to use my command cards at the right time, as I often put my command card hand down on the table while I'm manipulating other game components. The best thing I ever did for this was to buy a small business card holder from my local office supply store, though a Scrabble rack often works great too. This way, all of my command cards are upright and facing me while my hands are free to move figures and dice around, and I have a visual reminder on the table so I can see what's in my hand at all times without having to leave them face up for the opponent to see. Those are just some tricks you can use to help remember to use your abilities. Tell me in the comments, what do you do to remember what your abilities are, or tell me what abilities you forget most often when you're playing Imperial Assault. Thanks for watching.